The United States has over $38 trillion in debt as of this month, and it continues to rise by the second. And I'm willing to actually bet that there's no plan to pay it off, which means there's no accountability and no discipline. And if you keep treating your finances like the government treats theirs, you're gonna end up broke, stressed, and stuck with a lifestyle that you can't afford, that's funded by debt that you can't even manage. Today, I'm breaking down what the $38 trillion of national debt actually means and how it mirrors the way that many people live financially. The US government, they keep borrowing, they keep spending and pushing off their responsibility. But honestly, do you have that luxury? No, you don't. What you need is a plan, you need urgency, and you need to treat your personal debt like it's actually a fire, because it really is. If you haven't been living under a rock for the last few days, weeks, and months, you probably know that the United States' current debt situation is basically out of control. The United States, as of October 2025, has $38 trillion in national debt. All right? As of August of 2025, the US government was only $37 trillion in debt. What that means is, in less than 3 months, they picked up another $1 trillion in debt. All right. I personally have never heard of a trillionaire. So think about this. You have different ones like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, who's our president. These individuals are billionaires. I've never heard of a trillionaire. We are literally picking up debt at a more rapid pace, which means we're going to be paying interest on top of interest just to stay afloat. And there's constantly going to be this growing deficit, and there's not going to be a real strategy. I don't think that there's currently a real strategy, because if there was a strategy, would we have grown by another $1 trillion in less than a month? I think the only strategy that the government has right now, which is crazy to me, right? And I really don't get involved with it because I went to college and I paid off my student loan debts, but I do understand that everyone isn't in the same situation as me. But I think the government's only strategy is to force people to pay their student loan debts, or either constantly raise the interest rate to basically make more money off of you to pay off their debt. And if this sounds familiar, it's because it truly is familiar. The US government's current debt state is familiar to the average American. And what I mean by that is the US government, like I said, has $38 trillion in debt. The average American has about $100,000 in debt. $100,000 in debt is what the average American has. But the average American has $38,000 in credit card debt. So government, $38 trillion in debt. Average American, $38,000 in credit card debt. US government has high interest rate obligations. You may be somebody with high interest credit card interest, right? The US government, they have no plan to pay it off. You probably don't have a budget or a real strategy. The US government, they continue to obviously emotional spend. You constantly impulsively buy. All right. And if we're being honest here, you can't afford to think like the government, because there's a big difference between you and the government. All right. You don't have what the government has, and that's basically the power to print money. You don't have a central bank to bail you out. Now, you can go get a loan with a lower interest rate to bail you out, but is that truly bailing you out like the government has? The government, they're not worried. I'm not going to say they're not worried, but obviously they're not truly worried if they went from $37 to $38 trillion in less than 3 months. They literally have the ability to print money on demand. You don't have that luxury. So for you, you can't operate like them. When you personally ignore your debt, it doesn't just go away. It grows, and then it compounds. And eventually, you're basically going to lose control of it. All right? Debt is literally killing your dreams. And if you don't understand that, think about it. You don't have any options really. When you're in debt, there's no options of, can I have this car or can I have that car? Can I have this house or can I have that house? Can I go on this trip or can I go on that trip? Your options are dead. Literally, debt limits how you live. It limits how you give, right? If you're somebody who you like to give or you like to donate, literally, I go to church, and when I've been in serious debt, I've limited how much I give to the church, to individuals. My siblings, my family, my different loved ones may call, and I'm freaked out and I'm not able to give to people the way that I truly want to give to people because of this fear of my debt. And when am I going to be able to pay it off? So it literally limits how I live and how I'm able to give. It literally limits how you grow, because you really truly can't grow when you're stuck in debt. You can't grow spiritually, you can't grow financially, or you can't grow mentally because you're consumed by your debt. It is literally part of your DNA, and it's psychological. It's scientifically backed that your mindset being consumed by debt is causing you not to be able to grow the right way. It's causing you not to be able to mature the right way. So debt, it is keeping you back and it's holding you back and it's killing your life out basically. So you got to get to the point where you want to change. So how do you get to the point where you basically make sure that you don't end up like the government? What you have to do is you got to flip the script. You have to personally take ownership. You basically have to take control of your finances before it's too late. All right. The first thing you need to do is you got to face the numbers. You honestly can't fix what you're afraid to face. If you're not willing to face the hard, true facts, then you're going to stay in the same state. So let's be honest. Let's be real. You have to truly face the 100% true facts. And in order to do that, my suggestion for you is to basically write down every debt that you owe. Like, get a pen and a paper and write everything down. Every debt that you owe on credit card, every loan that you owe, everything that you have that's in collections. All right? If it's in collections, you still owe it. Most people, they try to say, oh, well, I'm just going to let it fall off. Eventually it goes away. No. If you owe it, you need to write it down. You need to pay it back if you owe it. Stop hiding from it. Stop hiding it. Write it down. Put it all on pen and pad. Put every single dime down. Every single penny that you owe down. Every credit card, every student loan, every personal loan, every car loan. Write everything down. Write every medical bill down. All right? That's the first step to facing the true details. That's the first step to taking back control. The second step is choose a payoff strategy. All right? There's two. It's simple. There's two main payoff strategies. There's the Avalanche method and there's the Snowball method. All right, just pick one of them and stay consistent. With the Avalanche method, you're basically focused on paying the high interest rate stuff off first. With the Snowball method, you're paying the smallest balance off first. Doesn't matter which one you choose. All right, on this channel, I talk about both methods. I talk about the Snowball method and the Avalanche method. And being honest, just being honest and candid, I have used both methods. Both methods serve their purpose. All right. When I first started my debt journey, I did the Snowball method. When I first got into it, the Snowball method helped me tremendously. A lot of people, a lot of different ones will tell you, don't follow the Snowball method. Don't listen to Dave Ramsey. No. Me personally, I did use the Snowball method. When I first started my debt journey, because I'm on my second one now. I'm almost done with my second one, but I've done two because I relapsed. My first one, Snowball method. The reason why I chose the Snowball method is because it gave me those quick wins. It gave me those quick motivational boosts that I need, those motivational encouragement opportunities that I needed. All right. Now the second time around, I'm doing the Avalanche method, because going through it the first time, I learned so much. I learned the tricks and the trades. I grew the mindset and the will and the desire to where when I relapsed and went back in, it wasn't like I was starting at square one again, because I had the information this time around. So this time around, I was able to do the Avalanche method, which focused on a higher interest rate so that I can get stuff paid off fast, but also save the most money. All right. So focus on one of the debt payoff methods and stick to it and stay consistent. Step 3, stop living above your means. You cannot borrow your way to peace. You got to cut the lifestyle out, right? You literally, if you're literally trying to operate and keep up with the Joneses, or as I say, keep up with the Kardashians, you're literally going to continue to hurt yourself. You're physically, financially, mentally going to continue to hurt yourself. You're going to keep yourself in a state that you cannot sustain. You are not the United States. You cannot print money on demand. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to figure out delayed gratification. Because if you can't figure out delayed gratification, what you're going to continue to do is sacrifice long-term peace for short-term feelings. So for me, pay for what you need and pay what you're supposed to be paying. Pay it now. Pay off your debt now. Cut back on your lifestyle now, so that in the future you can play. Pay now so you can pay, so that you can play later. All right. Step 4, you got to build an emergency fund. The reason why most people stay in debt is because they have no cash cushion, or what I personally call an emergency fund. And without an emergency fund, then you're basically one emergency from basically wiping out your progress. All right. You got to have an emergency fund. Your car breakdown, and now you're using your credit card you're swiping your credit card to pay for it because you don't have an emergency fund. And now you're backing that debt up all over again. So my advice, start off small. All right. Start off with $500 if that's all you can. Put $500 into a high yield savings account and leave it there. Eventually get it up to $1,000. Then aim for 3 months, then 6 months. Eventually your main goal should be able to have an emergency fund for a year. And when I say 3 to 6 months, I'm talking about 3 to 6 months to a year of expenses saved up for an emergency. That way you're not swiping every time something happens. You get a flat tire, swipe your car. You can't keep doing that. What you're going to do is constantly put yourself back into debt. All right. So make sure you have an emergency fund. And please, like most of us, because we can't follow these steps and because we're not trying to focus on our debt, all we're doing is basically becoming a statistic. The government, honestly, they may never pay off their debt, but you don't have to live like that. Most people, they stay broke because they think that debt, and they act like debt is normal, but it's really not. Debt, what it is, it's a trap. And the deeper you go, the harder it's going to be for you to climb out. Like if you constantly fall into debt and more debt and more debt and more debt, at one point, I only had $5,000 of debt. And then I went off to college and I came out with $45,000 of debt. And then I needed a car and I ended up with $55,000 of debt, and then credit cards, and then this, and then house, and then all of this stuff came. Next time I looked up, I was at almost I was over $300,000 in debt. Like when I add up all my debt and my 39 years of living, I've had over $370,000 in debt. And then you're trying to climb out of it. I can promise you, you're not going to be able to climb out of that situation if you constantly just continue to pile on and pile on and pile on and not focus on it at the same time, right? If you're piling on, you should also be focusing on it. But eventually there has to become a hard shut off. There has to become a hard stop so that you can climb out. Because if you don't, you're going to end up too far gone. But let's be honest. If you really think about it right now, you're not too far gone. You're not. Because as of right now, you can get out of it. You can truly get out of it if you're willing to stop. But this is the thing. If you keep waiting, you're going to eventually run out of time. And time is something that you don't have an unlimited amount of it of. You do not have unlimited time. We all have a due date. We all have a timestamp. So get out of debt now so that you can enjoy your freedom and your time later. And what you got to do is you got to stop following the government's blueprint because you're not the government. Stop normalizing dysfunction and stop making excuses for what you can control. You can get out of debt and you can build discipline. And you can honestly unlock your untapped potential. It's yours to be unlocked. It's yours to take. It's just up to you to do it. So lock in, focus, and don't ever get and act like the government, because you're not the government. You are you. You are an American. You are Asian, African, wherever you're at in America. You're a human. You're a human that can literally unlock your untapped potential if you focus on it. And that's what I want for you. So if this video has lit a fire under you, I truly want you to like it. I want you to share it with somebody that also needs to hear this. Make sure you comment. Comment that you're done to cause you to be a statistic. Make sure you comment that. I'm done being a statistic. And make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when we continue to drop more heat like this one. And if you're really ready to put together a real payoff plan, what I want you to do is I want you to watch this video right here. This video. Because this video right here is going to show you exactly how I got out of debt and how I'm focused, not how I've already got out of debt, but how I'm focused on getting out of debt. Because I'm not done yet. But in maybe a month, 2 months, I'll be completely out. And I want that for you too. So remember this, they print money, but you don't. So I need you to act like your freedom, like it depends on it, because it does. Later.